I'm Linda Plavin Fitzgerald, and I direct the dance program at Anne Arundel Community College in Arnold, Maryland. I met Daniel initially at ADF, and it was the summer of '77. It was last year that it was held at Connecticut College, which is where I went as an undergrad. And I signed up for his course in jazz dance styles and was really excited about it. It was one of, just something that I'm really passionate about. And I can remember the very first day of class, we were sitting in there and actually standing. It was an incredibly humid summer, and there was no air conditioning in any building. And all of a sudden, this man walks in with blue jean bell bottoms like up to here, and a blue-ribbed cotton tank, glasses, big aviator glasses, closely cropped hair, and blue suede jazz shoes. And he came in going, ba, 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 beep, ba, ba, da, 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 ba, 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 wah. And I thought, oh, this is going to be an awesome class. And it took off from there. He was such a character, so endearing, and definitely demanding in what he wanted to share with us, but very clear, and was a delight every day. You just walk in, I could not wait to get to that class. The course was 6 weeks, so it was every day, and we met for, I guess, maybe an hour and a half or an hour and 3/4. I can't really remember the time, but that was my initial meeting with him, and just kind of going through the course and learning about vernacular jazz, and seeing how passionate he was about it and how knowledgeable. It was like he lived in that time. And we learned the Cakewalk, we learned the Charleston, we learned blues, and Lindy and swing. It was so much fun. I mean, a huge amount of work within a short period of time. It was great. There was a lot of content in the course, and he was really his plan was really strong and good and clear, so everybody knew what was expected to an extent. It was just a matter of how much activity was going to be happening and what the emphasis was, and he brought in the history of it as well as the movement. And such an expert. I learned volumes from him just in that 6-week period. But they had a cakewalk contest after we had learned the cakewalk, and the person that I was paired with, we ended up winning this cakewalk contest. So he presented us with laurels, and there was a huge sheet cake. It was kind of in a open performance. And we had a blast. So it was like being back in plantation time. He was a friend of my mother's as well, Marcy Plavin, and he came to our house for meals every once in a while. And that was fun too, just to see him in a different light, but he was never off in terms of how he presented himself. I mean, he's very opinionated, and that was, there was no gray area with him at all, which was really very cool. But just a really interesting man, and just so much willing to share everything, and on his terms, and it was great. So that was another meeting I had with him. I also saw him at an ACDA conference that we went to, and I can't remember where it was, but he was teaching there, and I got a great welcome from him, and took his class, which was before the beat, on the beat, and after the beat, and his just uncanny musical rhythmic sense of how to dance in those 3 capacities, which was so intriguing. You don't really think about all those things, but he brought it to light, and it was really wonderful. For me personally, the Charleston was something that I really was intrigued by, and it was something that we learned in his class as well. I went on my graduate work, actually focused on the cultural and sociological influences in the 1920s with a hard look at the Charleston. And I think that was something that my mother and he both sparked within me. Improv is part of jazz, and we were given certain counts within movement phrases to improv, which he would help in terms of guide you, never telling you what to do, but definitely giving you good guidance so you would have a clue as to what to do and how to think. Because of the dance history class that I had taken, I was familiar with Cakewalk. It was one of the earliest plantation dances, a competitive dance, and definitely eased relationships between slave owners and the slaves because of it. And just in terms of the improvisational quality of that piece, as well as, within the Cakewalk, there are certain moves that happen, but largely improvisational. And so that was a lot of fun. You just kind of create your own story. and knowing the background helped to create that story. But yeah, Daniel had definitely told us about that in the class as well, so it was reinforced prior to. I am a huge fan of vernacular jazz, and I think the authenticism of what he taught us has factored into a lot of the work that I've done with my students, kind of reviving what has happened in the past and letting the students know how important it is to look back at that and see how the future, or how the future from that point played out, and how those moves tend to come back and just become important again and again. So having that base from him was hugely helpful to me. I just think that he was such a wonderful character and very warm-hearted in his own way, and just phenomenally talented and definitely devoted to what he did. A really dedicated dancer, historian, brilliant man. I miss him.